G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new patch with the brand new expansion with two old civilizations. I think this might be the very first time we are casting two of the older civilizations since the new expansion has released. So that's a bit exciting. What's also exciting is this is an EGC TV game. Let's get into it. Let's introduce our players because we've got an absolute banger of a game for you today. In the west of the map, in the color red, playing as the English representing my insanity, it is the Mister. And on the east side of the map, in the color blue, playing as the Rus, representing Team Elephant, we've got Louis MT. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this Age of Empires 4 content, make sure you go ahead, leave a like on the video. It really helps out with the traction of the video. Let's get into it though. We have got ourselves an EGC TV game right here. We're going to be casting. Now, if you haven't already checked them out, I'll make sure I leave a link in the description to where you can go watch them live over on Twitch this weekend. You'll get to see your favorite players over there, whether that's the Mister, whether that's Louis MT, whether that's Beastie, Marine Lord, Lucifron. All those guys are going to be over there this weekend. So make sure you tune in 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday. Let's get into it. English, Rus, a matchup that's pretty old. You know, this was one of my favorite matchups back in... Do you guys remember the era of horse archers? I remember that era very, very closely. I like that quite a lot. You know, we used to see this one TC fast castle, then players would immediately look to just go up and get so many horse archers out. But you couldn't do it against the English because the English had longbows. The longbows, of course, just very good at sniping out those horse archers, and it just meant that it was difficult if you wanted to try that strategy against them. And quite often we saw the English being a little bit of a counter to the Rus. Where that goes though, in the current meta, who knows? These two civilizations have largely been out of it for the moment, I guess with respect to each other. Obviously we've seen plenty of these civilizations just in general, but fighting up against mainly the new civilization. So I feel like we're almost heading into uncharted waters at this stage because of the new patch, and obviously there's been quite a few changes. Obviously the TC change is the big one. The fact that town centers are nowhere near as powerful on a defensive front as they used to be, and already we've got ourselves something a little bit different. How you guys doing? An Abbey of Kings coming out early on in this game for the Mister. Looks like he's sticking it as well. No council hall today. I don't know how I feel about this. You know, when you compare it right now, okay, compare the Abbey of Kings to Jeanne d'Arc. All right, just have a think about that, right? You've got like a king. Ooh, I've got a king. And then you think about Jeanne d'Arc, and it's just like, actually, now that you think about it, yeah, I know which one I'd prefer, but look, I guess that's probably as close as the English are going to get to having a hero unit, at least for some time. You know what? I'm looking forward to the new English variants. You know, I don't know that they're coming, but I can pretty well assume they're going to be coming soon. And I'm kind of excited about that, right? Because the English are such a fun civilization. I'd love to see, like, an English variant that just makes them really complicated to play. I don't know how they do it. I kind of hope they bring in another hero unit. I feel like the hero units there... Initially, I was like, it's a bit gimmicky. I was a bit apprehensive. But I'm kind of coming around to it now, and I think that as long as they pull the right levers, they can definitely make it so that it's balanced. I'm curious what you think, though. If you could see an English variant, what would you want for it? You know, I've actually seen on Reddit, there's a guy called Chili, and he posts these, like, civilization ideas. I'd love to see, like, a variant for the English civilization. Maybe he's done it already, I don't know. But I'd love to see, like, an English variant civilization idea, you know, just to kind of see where they could go with it. Because I'm sure they probably got it in the works already. And we know we're going to get it, right? Like, they've already done the 4 old civilizations. They're going to do the 4 new civilizations, or the other 4 civilizations as well. But anyway, let's get into it. Age Up's coming through. Got the council hall. Got the Kremlin on one side. Got the Abbey of the Kings on the other. And immediately we've got ourselves a king coming out. Oh, yeah. As I said, I don't know how I feel about this. It's always nice having that council hall, that guaranteed production that you can flex into at any time. But here with the king, there's a couple of other components to it. Number one is this is going to be really good when the castle age comes around because you're going to be able to go into mass knights and always be able to bring them back and heal them up as long as your micro is good. But we do see Mister right there scouting out the second town center. Of course, he's already got a mining camp up on the stone, so no real surprise for him there. He will be looking to go for the same thing. King is out though, 4 minutes 40 into the game. Nice and early here. Keep in mind, he does have a slight movement speed advantage over enemy knights, but will be making his way towards the enemy base. Let's check in with Louis MT and see how he's doing on that east side. It doesn't look like we've got a stable down just yet. Does this get spotted out through the middle? Did he? Oh, yeah, he did spot him. I thought at first he didn't see him, but he does indeed see that. We can hear the scouts going off non-stop through this game. But King moving to the top side. Scouts in position. He's got 1, 2... God, look. That is ridiculous. 3 scouts we know about for the moment. And now he moves up towards the north, so definitely cognizant of that knight, or that king coming through. 210 health. Does manage to get the stone required before the king arrives. And the king comes up empty-handed. Well, I guess he's got a sword in his hand, but Townsend are coming down on the gold exactly where you'd expect it. Beautiful little base building right now by Louis. Very defensive. Now, let's talk a little bit about Louis. Now, Louis's obviously been on the scene for quite some time, but he's never really popped off. Until now, Louis has been absolutely taking names. Currently sitting on at rank number 2 on the ladder. Incredibly high rated as a player. That is ludicrous. And I've been watching his games, man. He's been playing against Beastie. He's been playing against all these really good players. And he's been beating them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Louis MT somehow manages to pull out a victory today in this matchup. Even though I guess you could say the English might have a slight advantage, even though I haven't really... I think we're, as I said before, in uncharted territories, especially with the addition of the king, who is once again trying to come through. Curious that Mr. didn't look to try and put any pressure on towards that town center either. But on the other side of the map, we do have a town center coming up for him. Also on the... Look at... Did you guys see this leaf? Excuse me, leaf. I don't know what makes you think you could just come into my screen like that. That leaf was really close to my screen. Anyway... Town center. He's doing a good job of idling out the gold, but remember that the king, he can take some damage. He's going to have to fall back eventually, though. Scout looping up here as well. We'll be looking to just defend a little bit here. King with the charge. Keep in mind, I think the damage is slightly lower, if I remember correctly. I think it's slightly lower than a French knight. But now with that second TC online, where do we see these players go for it? So, Mr. has enough villagers on wood to justify a farm transition. Now, he's gone into 2 TCs here. You guys will know, I'm a fan of 3 TCs. I feel like with the English especially, you can just get away with it. I mean, now that the TCs have been nerfed, you probably can't as much. But I'm curious to see what his plan is this game, considering he's going to be going up against a player who will also be doing something similar. We know with the TC on the gold, we know with all these villagers on the gold, it's almost certainly going to be a fast castle coming out from him. But once again, able to idle out those villagers, just bringing them in, taking them out, just making sure he's getting that idle time coming through from Louis. Right on board with Louis as the knight is now in queue for him. Stable down, and he begins to look for a defense. Now, one of the other things to note is he doesn't actually need to run idle time here on this king. He can do exactly what he just did right there, put the scout in on this position, and it will mean if the knight or if the king tries to come in for a charge, the scout can actually just tank the charge. One of the things that you can do with that is you can obviously heal back with the scout, but you can always rotate them out, right? If you've got another scout nearby, you can always bring them in. And have a look at this. Mr. trying to get a wall up in the middle of the map will be denied. Militia also going to be coming out and immediately targeted onto that villager. Mr. Does he spot it? Let's check in with him. He's going to see it now, and oh, the timing could have been terrible, but he manages to... Oh, beautiful. Very well played there. Does get that little wall up, and then just going to be running on as quickly as he can. Militia, though, they're going to be looking for it. The Knights managed to heal back up to full. Look at the health. Absolutely very quick healing right now. Second TC, together with that main TC, might be able to provide some cover fire. The militia going to fall back. And over towards that east side, we do see the wall did not successfully come up, which means there can be pressure applied towards that position. More farms now continuing to come up. Normally on 2 TCs, you want to be aiming for about 18 to 19 farms before you click that age up button. But he does have quite a few villagers on wood. 10 villagers on wood is definitely more than what you need. I think the actual number that you want is somewhere around the 8 to 9 region. But interestingly, we do see Louis now going to be going for a high trade house. Where does he go for it? Bit of a weird spot. Not going to lie. Like, you could have gone down here. That's not even that good either, is it? Where do you go? Like, maybe here? This would have been okay. This one seems a little bit... I mean, he does get this kind of top side, but it's only 4 or 5 trees. You know, if I'm going to guess the number here, which I am, I'm going to go with... Eyeballing it. Okay, carry the 1. I'm going to go with... 39 trees. 39, that's the number that we're going for right there. What do you reckon it's going to be? Come on. Put your guess. Put your money where your mouth is. Who's going to be closer, me or you? All right, here we go. Just wait for it. We'll come back. 39 trees. That's what I'm guessing. If I hover over that, is that going to tell us? No, it doesn't. Okay. Anyway, Let's check back in on the other side of the map. Right on board with the Mr. as he's about to click up. Does he go into the King's Palace or does he go into the White Tower? For me, I love the White Tower here, but I think Mr. is a little bit more safe. Probably going to go into the King's Palace. Let's see where he's going to go. Probably put it down, maybe over here. Oh, he goes to the White Tower. The crowd goes absolutely wild. It's the White Tower. We love it. I love to see it. You love to see it. We all love to see the White Tower coming out. And now, let's check in. What was my number? I think I said 39, right? Okay, I said 39. Can you get closer than me? Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh my God! I did not pre-watch this. I'm not... How good? Hey! Who won? Who won? Was it me or was it you? Come on. Hey, I can't believe that, dude. Hey, look, I'm somewhat of a Conqueror 3 player myself. I can't believe that. Oh, that feels funny. I said 39, right? I'm hoping that I said 39. I'm pretty sure that was my number. Anyway, Louis now looking to push through. Over on this west side of the map, Villager will take a little bit of damage, but he manages to keep it alive. No villagers killed so far in the making of this casted game, but we do see that White Tower is online and he begins to pepper the Angus of those knights. And now you can see exactly why Mr. wanted this wall to come up. If this wall was up, well, it means that you've got to run a little bit further to get into his base. You've got to come in from these awkward angles. You can't pressure him from the front. And now, that king may go down. Indeed, it will. It makes the same sound that you make when you hear Joan dying. Now the knight's going to start coming out. But remember, he does have that bonus going for him. He does have the Abbey of Kings potentially coming online a little bit later in this game. Of course, now Relic's going to start getting picked up. Louis MT beginning to work his magic on that backside. We do see Triple Stable is down for him. And on the backside, the Monastery is up. Remember, the Monastery does produce those warrior monks that come out a little bit faster. By the way, he's still 0 villager kills this game despite this aggression coming in from Louis. Mr. doing a very good job of keeping all the villagers alive despite the lack of health right there. A little bit of a garrison right here. And for the moment, Louis maintains a healthy military lead. Villager counts absolutely even, Stevens. Five idle vills here. But he's just going to keep working down that gold. I think the key here for the Mister is he needs to look to get up walls. The problem is he can't really do it against this knight. This knight pressure is absolutely huge. But now the king is out. Remember, the king will be providing passive healing here. If we check in with the Mister, you can see, like, he's got villagers out here. You fall asleep for 1 second and that's it. Like, 3 of them are dead. Speaking of villagers dying, though, that knight coming in, he cops all of the damage. Then he's going to go back and heal. Look at this. He's utilizing the Abbey of the Kings. We're seeing it in a tournament game. You are seeing it right here first, folks. I'm loving it. You're loving it. I mean, you're seeing it here first unless you watched it live over on EGC TV. I didn't watch it live over on EGC TV. I was asleep. My little one, he was screaming and crying all last night. I can tell you that much. You know, I wish I could be over there casting on EGC TV, but it's not. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There's no way I can do it. I couldn't put my wife through that. You know, that's a good thing about, you know, casting games like how I'm doing at the moment. This game might be, say, 20 minutes long, so I just come into the studio, pump out a 20-minute cast, and then that's it. Straight back upstairs, changing nappies, getting bottles, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've actually got him on my phone at the moment. I can see him going back and forth. He's got this little bassinet we've got for him, and it, like, rocks him back and forth. He's just going ham in there. Oh, he just woke up. Sorry, mate. You know when you speak of the devil? There you go. Anyway, let's check in over with how Louis is doing. Keep in mind, he does have that second TC online. The economy's still doing pretty well. Even Stevens, with the exception of that one worker kill that did go down on the farm that we saw to the bottom side. 4 relics in the bag for Louis. And now we're seeing the advantages begin to build. You know, you've got the religious advantage on one side in the form of relics, and the religious advantage on the other side in the form of healing. Because the Abbey of Kings, I believe, is a religious landmark. Indeed, it is, Dronka. Good job. And now those knights looking to try and find a way through. King going to cop a little bit of damage here. If I remember correctly, the King does heal faster than the units that are around it. So it heals nearby out-of-combat units by 2 every 1 second. I guess it does that for itself as well. It doesn't say explicitly that it doesn't. And now up towards that top side, it looks like 5 knights going to be taking out. I'll tell you what, this is the kind of game I hate. I absolutely cannot stand these games. These are so frustrating to play with, as the villager almost went down. 14 health at escapes. Still only 1 worker kill this game. So why do I hate these games? I hate these games because I want control, and I don't have control. Right now, the Mister is just under non-stop pressure. You can see that he cannot get any walls out because he just simply can't get the villagers in position to wall without them being taken out. Like, and where does he even start with the walls? Like, you probably start towards the middle, maybe think about coming down here. And I think that the fact that he's going into the barracks now is a really smart decision, because it's going to mean he can get those walls up. Once those... Very nice move here by Louis. He's going to be rushing the walls up instead, realizing that, hey, if I do not get this wall up right now, then what is going to happen is my villagers will die. These knights eventually, inevitably, will make their way through. Very smart move there from him, and it's a battle of the cav for the moment, but not for long as the spears are in queue. 3 in this one, veterancy in the other one. And once he's got those spearmen out, then he'll be able to maintain some presence on that battlefield and then look to get those walls up. But we start to see the walls beginning to come up towards the top side here. Man, I'm still kind of reeling about that 39 trees. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again and just double check and make sure I said 39 the first time. Otherwise, it doesn't count. You know, if I said 37 the first time and it was 39, that doesn't count. You know, whatever I said first, that's what counted. But I'm pretty sure I said 39. I think I said 39. I'm just that good. You know, if people ask, hey, Drongo, what are your skills? I'm gonna look at them and be like, I'm very good at hitting my shots quite fat in golf, and I'm also very good at estimating how many trees there are in the forest. I'm very good at looking past the forest for the trees. Is that the saying? Looking through the trees for the forest, or the forest for the trees? Anyway, you guys get the point. I don't actually know what that means. I mean, I'm sure I do. Anyway, let's get onto it. Stop it, Drongo. Walls coming up, big walls. Expect to see those spears en route. Where are those spearmen, actually? There they are. Villagers making moves, making mogul moves. I don't know exactly what this one's plan is. Got some gold in the knapsack right there. 13 gold for the moment. We'll ride on board with the Mister and see how he's doing as he's neutralizing these sacred sites in the north. Spears making their way out. Villager up here. What's he looking to do? Is he thinking about an outpost potentially? He's going to siege down this central position with the villager. Just looking to throw in a little bit of hurt. And now those walls are starting to come up. 2 vills to the south. More to the top. Plenty of knights here. He's got the spears ready to brace. And indeed, at the gates, he will begin to make work happen. Beautiful little spot that he's got here. Just unable to really put pressure on through this. The Rus player is a little bit head scratching, I'll say that much, for Louis. But 4 relics did eventually go over to Louis. 1 relic going over to the Mister. A definite advantage for Louis in the late game, in the long run. King out here. Nice little heals. Eventually going to be coming down, and Mister is looking to put on the pressure. The warrior monk. Monk? Monk. Warrior monk. The warrior monk. Feels so weird saying monk. I say monk. Anyway, militia up against the spears. Knights on the backside. King's also here looking to come around the corner. Knight numbers looking far superior for Louis MT at the moment. Look how they rotate around the top here. At the same time, we've got the same thing happening on the bottom, and a raid on the other side of the map as the villagers get eliminated. We hear the king go down behind the scenes, but the spears still stand strong. We see no upgrades coming through. Look at the knights, though. Oh, my God. Louis got so many upgrades compared to his opponent right now. The Mister is barely any upgrades whatsoever. In fact, no upgrades at all on his units. And Louis absolutely destroying in that fight in his base. At the same time, over towards the other side of the map, we do see him losing out on those knights. But he did achieve a little bit of work there. Villager kill up to 9, whereas the Mister has only killed 6. Now, these guys have had perfect villager production up until this point. Remember, they were at parity, 100% parity throughout this game. Only the difference was when villagers died. And we can see right now there is a difference between these guys here of 4. And you compare that. Okay, just as I said. Imperial? Berkshire? Oh, no, 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 no. Now, this is an interesting spot. I feel like he probably could have pushed this a little bit further. Could he, though? Or maybe, yeah, or he probably doesn't have the army. He's got 20 spears. Surely that feels like enough. It's a cute little Imperial, though. I mean, this timing is a little bit unsuspecting. And speaking of unsuspecting, I apologize for not suspecting that UI over to you guys a little bit sooner. I know you guys love seeing it on that income per minute after around the 10-minute mark. And unfortunately, I dropped the ball on that one. But you know what I'm not going to drop the ball on? Any more guesstimates or estimates of trees. Right there, I'm going to go with 19 trees in that patch. You can count them yourself. You know what? There'll be some guy who pauses the video, counts them, and comments like, Drongo, you got it right. Like, you weren't lying when you were talking about those skills. And have a look at this. He's managed to break through towards that top side. Villager's going to be going down. He's got a couple here he can choose from. Tried to come out to this one on the right side. Unfortunately, not going to work, but have a look at that. The textiles definitely doing work. And now, towards the middle of the map, you know what time it is, baby. It's time for the Berkshire. The Berkshire is online. Mister, can we possibly get some Blacksmith upgrades. Maybe. Melee armor. Okay, I'll take it. Fitted leatherwork has come through. He's looking now at... it's not balanced projectiles. It's not wedge rivets. It's... Steeled arrow. How do I forget that? Steeled arrow. Such a standard. Such a basic. Oh, man. This is absolutely ludicrous. The amount of control these guys are able to exert in their units. Just making sure that their units are always somewhere to respond to the enemy threat. And I think that's so understated. Because often when we see these players, we don't really see that. We see... You know, you see the big fights, but you don't see these little things that are happening behind the scenes. Like a single spear chasing a single knight down. The elite status now coming through on those spears as well. He's on 32 spears. Oh, it's a massive tech switch. Have a look at this. He's gone from no cavalry whatsoever. His opponent's on 21 knights. So this is where he's looking to switch. So going into the hand cannoneers of all units, kind of wild to be going into hand cannoneers. Even in Imperial, I'd still be tempted to say crossbows are probably better for your opening, just to get you a bit of mass going. Because the main issue that you're going to have here is that your hand cannoneers are so heavy when it comes to the gold, you really can't afford to get a lot of them out. Whereas you've got plenty of food in this situation, so once you've got your enclosures tech online, come on, mister, I am expecting more from you, my friend. That should be what we click. There we go, there we go. That should be what we click as soon as we age up. Now that the enclosure tech is coming online, there will be a little bit more gold in the back pocket, but on this map in particular, gold gets a little bit hard to come by. You gotta be really out there fighting with it to make it work. But at this stage of the game, Mister does have some decent control. My fear is that he's just not gonna have the massive units that he needs. Like ideally crossbows, maybe mix in a mango or two. And that'll help him out a huge amount. The elite spears are honestly going to do work. Once he gets the ranged armor, I think he's going to be absolutely fine. But needs to get that ranged armor through. We can see right now he is going to be picking up iron undermesh early on. Some walls going to be coming up, going down. It's hard to know which one to say. Balanced projectiles over on that other side coming in. Roller shutter triggers. Do we get a picture of this? Do we get a picture of this? I'm kind of tempted to get a picture of this. There's just something for me about watching Berkshire palaces. Hey, come on, man. There's something about watching the Berkshire Palace just shoot, just do what it does. You know, it does such an awesome job. Such a beautiful job. And have a look at this. With 2 Imperial landmarks, barely separated by just a couple of... I mean, I got a big screen, so it's probably pretty far. You guys get the picture. Stone wall starting to come up here for the mister. North side of the map. This wall did come up quite a long time ago, but he never actually went through to complete it. Have a look at this, Louis with a big score lead. What is that? How does he have such a big score lead? Can we analyze this just a little bit? Is it the upgrades? No. Military? Oh, it's the military. Look at the army value. Oh my god, look at the army value. Holy moly. Double the army value right now? I mean, the Mister's just running a whole bunch of spears. So that's largely it. But Mister's army still looks pretty decent, right? Like, this isn't terrible. And especially because the spears are elite upgraded, so they feel extra good. But elite archers on one side, elite knights here as well, veteran horsemen. And have a look at this, adjustable crossbars coming through for Louis MT. The numbers are looking pretty good for him, and the villager count is quite even. But the archers pushing forward now, able to take out a couple more villagers. 14 lost this game completely. He will manage to get the walls up. Bit of an awkward wall connecting to the stone, but in the end, he'll be happy with it. Unfortunately, it's not going to get up here. He will throw away a couple more villagers. And now towards the middle of the map, plenty of cavalry beginning to move their way out. Towards that center of the map, the men-at-arms coming out. Only an early men-at-arms as well. We're going to need to get upgrades coming through. There they are. Your early men-at-arms going to be going to men-at-arms. Armor cladding also here. Expect him to move into elite men-at-arms. Look at that macro as well. Absolutely primed for men-at-arm production, which is going to be perfect. Exactly what he needs against those strong elite archers. Streltsy are also on the field, though. Keep that in mind. A beautiful mix coming out from Louis at this stage of the game. And a single mango here just to deal with any potential ranged unit threat. Now that outpost will burn down. Have we picked up our unique upgrade? It does look like we have. Our network of citadels is online, so we're going to have that extra attack speed. But have a look at this. He manages to take out the palisade wall. Stone wall comes up behind, but the villagers are kind of locked inside. They're stuck, scratching their head, going, right. Yeah, we built, yeah. We built, some people say we built this city on rock and roll. They didn't. They built this city wrong. Wrong. They just built it wrong. That was it. You know, you've got built differently, and then you got built wrong. It was built wrong. Should have been on the other side. Should have. I'm not going to call the macro police. That's not a macro mistake. That's a skill issue. Check in with Louis MT, see how he's doing. The numbers continue to build for him. He's maxed on population. Biology on the way as well, looking to get big upgrades for the Knights. Keep in mind, they've got Boyar's Fortitude that's already come through. And I think we've also got that extra little bit of damage for our Knights. In fact, no, we don't. We don't have that upgrade Knight Poleaxes just yet. But I'd expect Louis is not the kind of guy to forget that sort of upgrade. So I'm sure we'll see it online soon. And Archer's just coming everywhere. Look at this. Oh, he's made his way through. How did he get through? Oh, over towards that west side. Manages to find a way in. Village is now getting pokey stabbed. Veterancy on those horsemen. Only the only upgrade they've got. No elite upgrades coming through just yet on the horsemen. And now working his magic behind the scenes. Slowly but steadily taking out workers. And towards that, oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. They're playing noughts and crosses. Unfortunately, the only winner here is going to be Louis MT. He doesn't even need to throw any crosses down at this stage of the game. That is more than enough to be justified as a victory for him. The horsemen have made it through, but on that south side, never mind, Drongo. We got to pay attention because the Streltsy are looking to try and fight up against the hand cannoneers. Keep in mind, the hand cannoneers have got that extra attack speed, and that's going to make all the difference in these fights. That extra 40% attack speed is very, very nice. Now, the Streltsy, when it comes to attack speed, they're no slouch either. They do have that double time, but let's click on them right here. Here we go. So they've got static deployment. So they gain 30% attack speed after remaining stationary for 10 seconds. I feel like that's kind of wild. 10 seconds is a long time for you to be getting that. Yeah, because like you shoot things and then they naturally move forward. Is it just me? Does that seem like a lot? It kind of seems like a lot. Man, this game is so chaotic. This game is so damn chaotic. You can see he was so close to getting the wall up as well. It was almost there, but unfortunately just didn't go ahead. And now back towards the middle of the map. Oh, here she comes. Get it, baby, get her. Unload. Let him fight into you, mister. That's what you want to do right now. You don't go to him. Let him come into you. Let him fight into your Berkshire. We want to be trying to advocate, or we want to try and, what's the word? Force our opponent to take a fight under here. We want to try and, what's the word? Oh, gosh. Instigate. We want to try and instigate our opponent to fight us under the Berkshire. He does have that bombard emplacement, or that cannon emplacement in as well. And now up towards the top side, mister. I mean, he's still being raided at the moment. A single horseman with an elite upgrade has come through. And archers, have a look at that. They somehow managed to find their way through on that gold vein. Just goes to show you can't always rely on walling to the resources. And now through the middle, the mister's just going to walk in. Says, thank you very much. I've got a nice little runway here. Don't mind if I do. Man, I tell you what, doesn't that feel so bad when that happens? And he's slowly sieging these walls down, but it's going to take time. It is going to take time. Spearman on patrol. He's looking. Where are those horsemen at? Where are those horsemen at? He's calling out for him. I like the fact he's keeping guard, but now Villager's going to get caught out of position. He does have a bit of a deficit on that Villager count, so it can work. Oh my god, 57 workers coming down for him. He's going to throw down a third TC in the back of the base. Definitely the right call. He is maxed, though, at this stage. Plenty of units on the field here. A 20 military advantage for the Mister, but keep in mind that that unit count, while it is high, the unit value is exactly the same between these two players, and that could be the difference in this fight. Remember that at this stage of the game, we're starting to look at how many resources are being built up by these players, because they are going to need to come out of the blocks exploding once that first fight happens in the Imperial Age, and you can feel them just right now tensing up, looking to prepare for it. Phil's moving out. No real control down here just yet. I tell you what, this would be a prime position here for a stone wall if you could get it up. But the question's going to be whether you can get it up, though. Spearmen are down here. There's villagers present as well. He's got 8 of the world's best, in fact. You could look for a really nice stone wall. He's only got 115 in the bank, and we see him actually moving on to stone. But have a look at this, perfectly recognized by Louis MT in the middle. And it is like a chess game at the moment, as you know, you've got the pawn that moves forward, and then the en passant. That's it, right? The en passant. You guys remember that? I remember when I learned that the first time I learned it, or the first time I saw it, I'm like, that's a meme, right? Like, that's a joke. Like, he can't do that, can he? And we called the umpire over. Yeah, he can do that. I must have been 3. I must have been 3. First chess tournament. Not really. Do you guys remember your first chess tournament? I'm just kidding. I was too cool to play chess. I wasn't. I played chess. I was on the debate team at school as well. I remember, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I remember I went to this school. I must have been like 10 or 11 years old, and we were debating. We lost the debate. But I remember they put water on our desks in front of us, and I remember thinking to myself, Drongo, don't drink the water. They've probably poisoned it. I'm like, these guys have a lot to lose. They really want to win this debate. They will go to any length that they can. Somehow, 11-year-olds have acquired poison that is non-detectable and is in your water. And, you know, I was so thirsty. That's the worst part. I was so damn thirsty, that whole bloody debate. But anyway, look, I'm done nerding out with you guys. A little bit of a cursed cast here. The casts recently have been cursed. I've been enjoying them. I don't mind a cursed cast. Anyway, standoff of the Mexican style. Both players pointing shotguns at each other. Neither of them willing to commit. And have a look at this. This could be really big. The horsemen are coming towards him. I think he realizes, you know what? We can just go. We've got plenty of units. We've got plenty of numbers here. The problem's going to be there's not a lot of surface area here at the front for these horsemen to come around. So as long as the spearmen stay in that nice line formation, he's going to be absolutely fine. And now the spears making their way forward. Look at the positioning here on the backside. Plenty of units on here. And now he looks to come through, defending underneath the Berkshire Palace. The battering rams making their way down the ramp. Mangonel's up the rear, and the Springald's firing out at his opponent. Just completely surrounded. I don't know how he's done this. Where has he pulled these numbers from? Louis MT, he was down 20 military population, somehow doubles his opponent's numbers and absolutely cremates him, puts him in the burner. Look at that, absolute incredible stuff coming out from him. And Louis MT, he's trying to take out this landmark before it can take out his siege. It's working slowly down on those Mangonels, but the Mangonels gonna have something to say about it as the big shots come through onto the hand cannoneers from the top rope. A lot of them down low. They're gonna have to head back over towards that Abbey of Kings, but unfortunately, I don't think it's even going to matter. The hand cannoneers, he tries to keep them alive. He tries to survive. He wants to thrive, but unfortunately, it's just not going to happen in this game, and the game gets called. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Louis MT coming out your victor in this first game. This is a best-of-5 series. I'm going to be casting the entire series, so make sure you check out the next video, and make sure you go check out EGC TV this week, and it is happening 15 GMT, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.